invite you to be seated, and at this time I invite up Val Hinkle for our Temple Talk.
Okay, hello everybody. I am Valerie Hinkle, and it has been a while, so I had a very busy summer, and I am here to talk to you about a little portion of that. So in July, I attended a program called Lutheran Summer Music Academy. We call it LSM for short. And it is a month-long program. You can go for a month, which is what I did. And you focus on music. It's music-based. It's also faith-based. It's at Valparaiso University. And you get to stay in the dorms and eat their interesting food in the dining halls, and it's very wonderful. So I have attended LSM for officially 3 years, but I have only gone in person twice. The first year that I did it was during COVID, so we did online stuff, and that was interesting, but I have done it for 3 years. Like I said, I went for a month long. You have full session students and half session students. So the half session students only go for 2 weeks. I personally would prefer doing the full session over the half session, because I think like at the end of the 2 weeks when people are leaving, you're just now getting settled, like you're starting to find your people and really make your friends and all that stuff. So I went as a vocal primary student. Because it is a music-based camp, you have to play some sort of instrument. I carry my instrument with me everywhere since I sing. That's what I do. So the way it works is when you first get there on the first day, you have auditions that you have to go to. So even like the instrument people, if you play cello or something like that, then you have to go and audition in front of all of the cello faculty, and then they will put you with a teacher so that you can have like private lessons, right? So for vocal people, I went into like the choir room where we had the choir, and it was like a panel of judges almost, and I had to sing a song for them a cappella, and then they put me with a teacher that they thought would best suit me. So like someone who could work on my confidence level and someone that I would get along with really well. My teacher was Catherine McCord Larson. I love her. She's great. She is actually from California, and I believe she did musical performance as a career for a long time, but I think now she just teaches. And I actually had her last year as well. So another thing that I really enjoy about LSM is if you're a returning student, they try their hardest to put you with someone that you have already worked with, which is really nice because it's not like you're a new student every year and having to form new relationships with teachers and faculty and stuff like that. So yes, I had Kathy Larson as my teacher, and all of the vocal primary students would have voice studios that they did, which was something that I really enjoyed and something that I thought helped me a lot in my performing and stuff like that. So what that is all of the vocal students who had the same teacher would get together every other day, and we would have like a class, and we would sing our songs for each other and give constructive criticism and all that sort of stuff, like what you're doing well, what I think you could improve on, and all that stuff. So that was really helpful. Every other day, like I said, it's every other day that we did those classes. There was also chamber music classes, which is in between those days. And that is for the instrumental people. So they have like small groups that they get together. And then at the very end, there's like a chamber music extravaganza is what they call it. And they play all their pieces that they practiced in their chamber music. I did not have to do that because I don't actually play an instrument. I just did the vocal classes. So the structure of the day, we would have morning and evening prayer, and those were awesome. I really love those. So morning prayer would start at 8:30, and before that, we had to go to breakfast. If you didn't go to breakfast, then you didn't eat unless you had snacks in your room. So I would go to breakfast with my roommate, and then at 8:30, we would go to morning prayer and take attendance and all that stuff. and we would sing Luther's Morning Prayer. I don't know if any of you have ever heard that, but it's a really great song, so you should look it up. It's not very long, it's like 3 minutes, and we would sing that every morning. And then after that, we would have like announcements and just stuff that we needed to know for the day. After that, it was either a musicianship class or your voice studio class or chamber music, whichever one you were in. And so the musicianship classes, before you go to LSM, you have to take a musicianship test. I did not do well on that musicianship test. It is all like music theory stuff, so like they give you like a whole bunch of notes and it doesn't have any bar lines and you have to figure out the time signatures and stuff like that. I'm not good at that. I was put in the beginning musicianship class, but I had a lot of fun in that class. So that's the musicianship part, and then I told you about the voice studio. After that, there are also electives. So you have blue electives and green electives, and they alternate days. I chose a blue elective this year. You can actually choose to be in both of them, but I wanted some downtime, so I just chose blue elective, and mine was church music. So I would meet with Anne Prince-Organ, who was our composer in residence. She was the teacher of the class. She lives up around Chicago, and she would teach the class, and it was like going through the hymnals and like where everything is and like the church season and how like just all things church music and like how you can incorporate different things into your services and stuff like that. So that was really fun. There's also like non-Western music, and you can take a musical theater elective and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. There's like music education and all that stuff. So there's a lot of options to choose from. After the electives, it was normally lunch, so you would go to lunch. The lunches were pretty interesting. They were not the greatest. And then after the lunch, I would go to choir. So the choir, there was like, I can't remember how many people were in it, but it was a very large group. And our choir conductor was Dr. Shannon Gravel. She is really great. She used to be a professor at Oshkosh, I believe, but she is now at Lawrence. I'm pretty sure this is her first year at Lawrence University. And she actually sent me an email not too long ago, like trying to recruit me and recruit me to Lawrence. And like, I really enjoyed having you in choir, and you've grown so much. And if you'd like to visit, you can come see me. And that was really nice because the faculty really get to know you, especially when you're returning students. Like they try their hardest to know you on a very personal level. And so just her reaching out is a great example of that. So after choir, I would have choir for like an hour and a half every day. And then after that, I would go back to the dorms because then they had orchestra practice. And band practice was in the morning while I was in my dorm. I did not go to band practice. I was not in band. After choir, I would go back to the dorm, and then we would have, I forget what was in there, but there would be like dinner, and then I was part of chapel choir as well. So I met with Ezekiel Dowse, I believe is how you say his last name. He was our assistant cantor, and he was in charge of chapel choir this year. And chapel choir was open to any member of LSM, whether they be students, faculty, people who aren't vocal primary students. Anybody could join chapel choir. And there was probably 40 of us this year, and that was really great. We met every day, and then at the end, like on the third week, on that Sunday, we had our hymn festival, which is where we sang all of the songs that we practiced in chapel choir. And this year it was on a Sunday, so it was like kind of in with normal service, but that was really great. And then, outings. So we also have outings. It's not just class every day, which is really great. In the third week, we have an off-campus day. So this year and last year, we actually went to the dunes, and that was really fun. Got beat up by some waves. They were really strong this year. And then we also, on that same day, we go back to campus, and then there's a festival that happens in town that we walk to. So we walk to downtown Valparaiso, and there was like a concert that was happening, and a whole bunch of little shops are open, so we got to hang out there for a couple hours. We also had the opportunity, my counseling group walked to DQ one of the days. Last year we weren't able to do that. They didn't let us do that. But this year they let us do that, and that was rather nice. But it was hot, and we did have to walk, so that was the only bad thing. Daily concerts. We also had like daily faculty and student, fellow concerts. And those consisted of like strings, woodwinds, voice people, like anything in between. So when I say fellows are typically like college kids who want to be a student, but they're too old to be a student. So they're basically a student, like they do everything that a student does, but they work closer with the faculty and they're in charge of more things. So like we had a choir fellow, and she was like in charge of all the logistical things involving choir. So like if we had sectionals and the places got moved, she would tell us and all that stuff. So they are in charge of more things, but they still do get private lessons and stuff like that, like a student does. And they would have recitals. I think their recitals were like twice a week, but other than that, it was all faculty recitals. So we got to hear like nationally renowned performers like almost on a daily basis, and that was really, really awesome. I told you about the electives and classes. Yes, so roommates. You get placed with a random roommate if you do not have a roommate that you want to room with. I roomed with a friend from last year, and that was really great. We were actually in the Guild Memorial, which is, I don't know if any of you know where that is, probably not, but that was the dorm that we stayed in. Last year we were in Warenberg, but because of like scheduling and different camps and stuff, they put us in a different one. It was actually bigger, so that was nice. There were more common areas. So you can either do a random roommate or you can choose someone. I chose someone, to sum that up. And then there was also programs that you could do while you were there. They had like a writing thing with like the Valparaiso staff or faculty that were there, and I went to an engineering one. So I got to go to the engineering building, and I met with 3 professors, and they fed us Chick-fil-A, and that was nice. But they told us about like environmental engineering and audio and visual engineering, and then like biomechanical engineering and biochemical engineering and all that sort of stuff. So that was really cool because they try and get you involved in things outside of music, so it's not just constantly music for the whole month that you're there. So that was really great. I had a lot of fun at that little program thing. I learned a lot, so that's good. I think they accomplished what they were going for. So that's really LSM. If you have any questions, you can talk to me. They have a video of my singing. So I do, like I said, I do private lessons with a teacher, and you have 8 private lessons over the 4 weeks, so you do 2 a week. And this year I went in and I said, I want to learn a German song. And Kathleen was like, oh, okay, let's find a German song. So I ended up singing a German song for my student recital, and I think it went pretty well, but you guys can listen to it, so. Maybe not. So if you didn't understand that, I was singing about a rose and like a heather or like by the moors or something like that of that. Yeah. Anyway, it was, I'm glad that I chose that song. I've never sang a solo in German before, and it was definitely a challenge because I was thinking that I would be able to work on 2 songs over the month that I was there, but I did not because the German was so hard, and I had to work very hard at the German. So yes, that was my solo. I'm probably way over my allotted time, so I'm sorry about that. But I do want to talk a little bit about next year as well. So next summer, I will be going to Europe with Dad for Indiana Musicians Abroad. It's a program that I found out about through Honor Choir, and I get to go to 7 countries in 14 days. And there are 3 like orientation days in Indy that I have to go to, so like we can work with all the ensembles because it's not just a choir that's going, it's an orchestra and a band that are going as well. So we get to go to Europe and spend 2 weeks over there. Mom said to put this in here. We will be doing fundraising and asking for donations soon. So if you would like to contribute to our cause, talk to Mom and Dad. And then future plans. So currently I'm a senior in high school at Pioneer, if you do not know that. I am working on the Lilly Scholarship right now, which is a little bit stressful. And I'm also filling out college applications. I want to go to Purdue, but we will see where I am led. So yes, that is about it. So thank you.
And let us pray. Holy God, your word feeds your people with life that is eternal. Direct our choices and preserve us in your truth, that renouncing what is false and evil, we may live in you through your Son, Jesus Christ, our Savior.